Guys, if the release of the SLY Guy podcast on a Thursday is just not enough for you, if you want more, don't think all's lost. There is hope, and that hope exists at www.patreon.com/ you guessed it. It's not you guessed it, it's / SLY Guy podcast, but I'm saying you guessed it. You get the gist. We've got loads of bonus SLY Guy podcast features. We've the guest episode every Friday. We've the extra SLY Guy podcast on a Monday. We've got dog walks with Davey. We've got early release episodes of the regular podcast. We've got vlogs. We've got early ticket releases. All sorts of other shiznit for your business. Doesn't rhyme. Shit. I tried to say shiznit for your business, but I said something wrong. And that just goes to show you that I'm a human and I make mistakes. And if you want to see some more human elements of my character, you can go to patreon.com / SLY Guy podcast. For less than £2 a month, you can support the show. And I would really appreciate it. So just come up, join us, have a nice time. Cheers. Listen, it wouldn't be an episode of the SLY Guy podcast without plugging this shit right here. You better believe it, that's Modest Beer. You thought Dr. Zeus was dead? No, he lives inside of me. Because I can rhyme as well. Modest Beer is the best beer, my favourite beer, the beer, which goes like this, and the SLY Guy podcast goes like this, and they just go boom, because we're a team. And if you want to know more about Modest Beer, you can check them out at their website, www.modestbeer.co.uk, where you can subscribe to their brews letter to get all the up-to-date news on all things Modest Beer. You can hook yourself up with some sweet merch, and you can find out where to buy the beers at a vicinity near to you. Or if you want to be like one of these hipster cool kids nowadays, you can just follow them on social media at the handle @modestbeer.
I'm the SLY Guy.
Guys, welcome to the SLY Guy podcast. This week, my guest on the show is Conchur. Now, you might go to yourself, Conchur, who's that? I'll tell you something else about Conchur that'll help you figure it out. Document Belfast? Yes, that is who Conchur is. Conchur is the man behind the Document Belfast social media channel. The channel which teaches you and me and anyone who wants to know about Belfast some pretty interesting stuff all about Belfast and easy to digest bite-sized social media posts. The Document Belfast page is huge, it's interesting, and Conchur was a great guest. He's someone that I've done a podcast with before. We was in the pilot of Lesser Spooked Ulster with myself and Psychic Glenn, so it was great to get Conchur on the show just for a chat. We shot the shit. We spoke about all sorts of different things, a bit of history, a bit of other stuff, and a lot of mirth. It was a lot of fun. So guys, I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I enjoyed giving it to the world. This episode, not just general. That sounds very aggressive, but guys, this is my episode of SLY Guy podcast. Myself and Document Belfast's Conchur.
Do you want me to go now or after? Oh, I was just checking my alarms.
No. No, I'll do the introduction when we're finished.
Right.
See, that's the trick that people don't know that watch the podcast now. The introduction's done at the end.
It's magic.
There you go. I've just told everyone that's it. Ruined. Conchur, welcome to the SLY Guy podcast. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm very
good.
No,
you're very welcome. I was going to call you a friend of the show, but you're not yet. You're just a friend of mine, I would say, nearly.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, because we did the first time we met, we did another not to be named podcast. I nearly said the Shane Toddcast, but it's not. It's Steve.
It should have been called that.
Yeah, well, I think it was in its first development. Iteration, yeah. I was going to say in its first development. It's not. It's just a thing. It doesn't, you know.
He doesn't need any help though. Like, you know.
No, he does, because he needs the guys behind the scenes to organise him.
Fair,
you know,
fair.
he needs a diary master to keep him on time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we met for the first time, and it was a fun episode.
It was a good episode. Yeah.
It was silly. It was fun. It was I would say memorable. And then after that, we connected again on the pilot that we did for BBC Lesser Spooked Ulster. So we thought common next step is just get you on the SLY Guy podcast. So welcome.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, how are things? How are you keeping?
Yeah, doing well. Busy. Full-time job, doing my page, usual stuff like. So it's been going well. I'm enjoying it. You know?
Nice, because that's sort of what I kind of relate to now. Again, I was saying to you before we recorded here, we have the guest episode that goes out on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that every Friday if you haven't subscribed. And the initial idea behind that was to get guests on who, you know, people could maybe relate to in terms of trying to like achieve something, you know, like make that step. Because at the time we started, for me, I was still working full time, and I was like just looking to make the step. and then it sort of just became its own thing, and now we just have guests on all the time. So my question is to you, obviously your page is flying at the minute.
Yep.
Document Belfast.
Yeah, doing good. Yeah.
And are you at a point where you would maybe think about maybe going in that world full time and leaving the day job, or where are you at with that?
I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how to go about it, sort of thing. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how to make the first step because it's scary. Like, as you know, I'm
yeah,
sure. Like,
yes.
quitting a full time job, you know, it's a steady income. It's well enough paid and all that sort of jazz. Like, but where to go with it? Would I do like tours? Would I do like, you know, things that sort of side hustle?
Yeah.
You know, with that, like, but yeah, but I would love to do it in the future, and if, you know, if the opportunity comes around, like, you know,
Yeah.
then definitely, yeah.
Because the biggest thing, I don't know now, because obviously your page, is there anything like you get sort of out of that money wise, or do you get earn a wee bit of side dough out of it at all?
I mean, for different things, like say if somebody approaches you and asks you to go down and do something for them, you
Yeah.
know, then you get
Yeah.
money that way. Like, but
Yeah.
see, if like people have like this misconception that people who have like 1 million followers on Instagram or say 1 million on TikTok will get tons of money
Yeah.
from that, but you don't really get anything. Like,
Yeah.
you get maybe 20 quid a month on TikTok,
Yeah.
and then YouTube's the big
Yeah.
money, as you know,
Yeah.
like, you know. But other than that, just
Yeah, but we're always demonetized every week for saying stuff we shouldn't. But you know what? It's fine.
just go to Davina McCall route here. Please don't say fucker bugger.
Yeah, I know. And then we fucking bugger well said it, you know.
Shit, I said it again.
And we're around. But no, that's what I found with me. The biggest step I thought when I went full time was that my sort of supplemental, my side hustle, which was my stand up and comedy and podcast, it was like the fun money, you know. So it was the money that, you know, you'd used for like paying for holidays, buying nice things, and then whenever you took the actual wage out, I was like, oh no, this is my bread and butter money now. Shit, that's why I wear the same outfit every week, because it's just the one outfit now. But it's definitely, you know, it's taken me a long time. Like, I think maybe a few weeks ago I was chatting on the podcast about like how that'd be my one goal for so long was to be professional at comedy, to be doing this, that once I did it I'd really like no other plan or goals as to what to do. So when I did, I was like, well, what do I do next?
At least you can do that into like your old age. Well, you can be a funny old man, you know, or like teach people. Well,
True.
Well, can't teach them to be funny, but like,
I know. Listen, but we'll try sometimes. But
Exactly.
I think, yeah, it's just it was a weird thing to do, and then finally do it. You're like, oh well, and you have to be kind of self motivated, and you have to, you know, and it's hard at times. But thankfully now, hopefully, you know, with the amount of shows we're doing and other bits and bobs, it's good. So I mean, it's one of those things too. I think because I'd worked, where I worked for 13 years, which I suppose at the time I was. What age am I now? What even age am I? When I left my job, I was 30.
Me, aren't you? 30, mid
34 I was when I left my job. Yeah, I'm 36 now.
Yeah.
So I left my job when I was 35, maybe 34, 35. And I've been in there 13 years. So that's a lot of my life, you know what I mean? From as a young whippersnapper.
I'm 11 years of mine this year, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
But see, when you think, it's like, whenever I think, it's like, when I left, I was like, oh, I can never go back.
Yeah.
You know, this is me, blah, blah. And then Catherine, my wife, just said to me, she's like, there's other jobs. And I was like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah.
But you're so in that mindset, you're like, you're leaving, this is me.
You still got that experience under your belt.
Yeah, but like, do you ever see an X Factor when they're like, if I don't make it as a singer, there's nothing else for me? It's like, well,
that's me done.
Come on, there's more you can do.
Work in a shop.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And especially during COVID, I thought that if I had left, because I'd planned to leave before lockdown happened, if I'd left there, I was like, I would go and work for like Tesco doing delivery or something. I think I would have had that in me. Like, if you need to, you know, you do it.
I always think like, right, my secret shame, okay, it's like confession box sort of thing now. I can't drive.
Right, okay.
Which is really bad. I think you realise this when we did that Let's Booked ulcer. I had to get trains everywhere.
I just thought you were like, you know, a Francis Bourgeois guy who loves the trains.
Lots of trains. But no, Tina drives me everywhere. She is my my chauffeur, I suppose, and wife at the minute.
Chauffeur first, wife second.
Chauffeur first, wife second. I don't pay her much, so
yeah,
I pay her in my cooking. That's about it.
Company. That's what I pay my wife.
I always thought, like, you know, like the long range truck drivers, and stuff. I always thought that would be like an interesting job. You know, like a wee cab you've got, going to new places. But then I sort of think, you know, it would be a bit boring because you're like just going point A to point B. You're not actually seeing much, are you? But like.
But see, in America, it's just all straight roads, isn't it? And just like dusty.
I would say you could be a trucker.
I look like one, don't I?
The beard.
I have a look of one, and like, but the thing I don't like about it, right? I'd be fine about doing it.
Yeah.
But I only recently discovered what like truck stops are. You know, so it's just where the truckers go, but there's like showers and everything there. So all these dirty truckers are coming out with their sweaty bags, getting into the showers, and there's loads of them just queuing up with their wee wash bags and their wee like Tesco bags with like a bar of soap in it, Imperial leather.
Some dodgy stuff out there happens.
I would say so, and I think like because I mean, in a lot of horror films, truck drivers are bad guys. You know, they're like the serial killers and a lot of things.
Not to generalise on truck drivers.
If this is a big, like, if I feel so bad if there was just a guy, he said, you know what, if an 8-hour drive here, I stick on the Sly Guy podcast. I love Dave Elliott. And then he's like, that motherfucker.
truck drivers are all serial killers. Yeah. I think they did that on Top Gear. I think Jeremy Clarkson said that once.
Yeah, and he probably had like the truck drivers just parked outside the studio, not letting them. But I'm sorry if you're truck drivers. I'm sorry, but I do think like that's one of those jobs. Like, the point is, I think there's jobs for anyone, isn't there? You can do.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah,
it was just I like a side job, you know.
Because like, was that something you would aspire to be?
If I could drive, I think it'd be very dangerous without my license.
Yeah, it'd be a problem, certainly. Because I remember I found a letter that I'd written myself as a kid. I actually did a show about this many moons ago, but I think was it my first solo show I did? I think so. But I found a letter when I was clearing my house, and in the letter, it was a letter to myself. In the future. So I think it was eight or like, I was in primary school anyway, and I wrote a letter, and one of the things I said, when I grow up, I want to be an astronaut. And I was like, okay, pretty good. Or a lollipop man. I was like, there's not a flipping jobs
it's a wide
creator,
range.
you know, from an astronaut to a lollipop man.
Do lollipop men get paid?
I think so. I think some of them do. I mean, there's some voluntary, but I mean, lollipop men are one of the first jobs to be hit by Skynet, you know, like in Terminator, the machines. Because nowadays they used to be, you know, I used to love it. They used to be, you know, the pillar of the community out with their wee lollipops. Those sticks called?
Yeah, lollipop sticks, I would say.
They're out with a lollipop stick, and they would just be like, Gandalf, stop, you shall not pass.
To control the whole traffic.
Like, and traffic would be like, sorry, master, you know. Whereas now I see them, they all look miserable. They just hit the wee button, and then the green man, they're like, you can go now.
That's why I was wondering, like, is it a paid job? Because usually you saw like old people and stuff. But I'm wondering, is it like people in like community service and stuff too doing it? Or would that be a dodgy thing? I
think that'd be a problem. Like, I mean, criminals like, crossing children to school, being like, "What do you do, mate? Do you lollipop man all day?" "No, I'm in McGabry, bro." "What'd you do?" "Manslaughter, but don't worry, getting out soon."
60 hours of lollipop man.
For fuck's sake. I know I was drunk and all, and for fuck's sake, shouldn't have been driving.
I realised that was a stupid comment when I said it.
Yeah, but but it's good fun. But that's the thing. It's interesting. So do you remember when you just decided like you were going to start the page, the Document Belfast page? What was that like? What got you into it, or what made you start making the videos?
Just walking around. So I was always in the history and things, and then I was walking around Belfast and stuff, and I would always look at old buildings and like look them up, what their history was and stuff, because there's a lot of dilapidated buildings and that have no like the blue board you see outside sometimes tells you about the building or the place. A lot of those didn't have it, so I would look it up myself and do a wee bit of research and stuff, and I was like, maybe people would be interested in this. So went on Instagram, and first of all it was local photographers I would ask them, can I share a picture that they've taken, tag them in it, and then tell the history and the blurb underneath, and then I sort of gravitated onto doing it myself and stuff. So yeah, that's how it worked.
And was your interest in just history generally speaking before that, or was it just a curiosity about Belfast?
Yeah, no, I did history up until A level, and then first year of university, so I did politics university. You know, the topic is not very good at the moment, like, but basically the first 2 semesters were doing ancient history. So I think Kieran Bartlett did that, didn't he?
I think he does something. He's a nerd, so he probably did.
Historical man.
Yeah, he's a doctor, but he couldn't, you know, prescribe you anything. You know what I mean? He's like a fake. I don't know why you're a doctor if you don't. You know what I mean? It's weird. You know.
But I did ancient history, so like Romans and Greeks and stuff like that. So it's always been like a thing. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's like you're not going to be a lawyer off like baking. You know what I mean? It's like jobs are anyway. So that was the interest, because I would do stuff myself if I saw something that interests me. I'd be like, oh, I'll go and look that up, you know, or Google it. And that's the beauty now. Obviously, you've Wikipedia. You can just bounce away and go, I'll go and
absolutely
have a wee check at that.
You've caught me, like, that's my main source, isn't it?
Yeah, scooped, because that was the biggest thing I always found with Wikipedia. So it sort of came back, or it sort of came about whenever I was in uni.
Yeah,
I was like, this is my degree.
And all the references are already at the bottom.
Yeah,
You just
and
put
then
those in.
bingo. But what a waste of bloody time. I did a degree in criminology and criminal justice.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, but then there's like, it's not just that. There are like, it's obviously different subjects within it. Like sociology and social policy to me are the two biggest frauds in the history of subjects. Like, they're just things based on stuff guys said out of opinion.
Just to put out there to all you sociology students out there.
Yeah, sociology. Listen, it's just a guy's opinion. Yours can be different. You know what I mean? So and so thought this, but I don't. You know, so. Where's the I like, and I think that's it. Like, I like cold hard facts. I like historical facts. Like, this has happened. This is why it happened. Boom.
Which is why you were a good sort of person to have the lesson spooked Ulster thing.
Yes.
Spotted there.
Yeah. I know. See, that was the pun. It was the original lesser.
It was. See
spooked.
that.
But yeah, but that's sort of like, that was a fun project for anyone that doesn't know. I assume obviously listeners of the podcast will have checked Lesser Spooked Ulster out, which was a pilot that I did with myself, Psychic Glenn and Connor here, and it's something that I feel I would like to do more of. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But that was an idea that I had out of the fact that again, just through having Glenn on the podcast, he initially, Aaron Butler suggested I get Psychic Glenn on because he had seen his Facebook page and had sent me a few videos. I think my initial response was, I don't think I can handle this guy. And now that I know Glenn, I can't. You know, like and he knows I can't.
He's a wild man.
He is a wild, and the only thing about him is because he's wee, you can just pop him in your pocket and just be like, listen, it'll be all right.
Thumbelina.
You know, he just well, that's another nickname that I'm going to throw by him tomorrow. Actually,
I didn't say it, by the way, Glenn. Just going to say
but he was a great guest,
yep,
and again, he was one of the, and you'll probably find this funny to hear, but I was actually nervous about it. Like, sometimes you prep for guests, you're like, I don't know what to expect. Some guests you get on, they're amazing. Some you get and you're like, oh my god, what have I done? He was just way more like likable than I think he presented himself initially. You know,
I met him on the show, like, and Glenn, you're a lovely fella.
Yeah, oh, he's great.
Lot lower energy, I think, in real life too.
Because it's like that thing too, you know. Catherine always says, like, oh, your life must be mad living with a comedian. And she's like, no, he's boring. He's a miserable big shite.
It's because you get it all out of your system during your working job, and then you come home and you're not funny, probably.
You know, I'll come back and be like, tell me, no, I've no jokes. You know, nothing. I'm just, I've nothing. You and the kids just sap the energy out of me. I try, but
see, that's why I picked history, because it's always boring.
Yeah,
that's why if I go at home, I'm the opposite. Then I'm super interesting. It's good.
See, there you go. See, that's a smart juxtaposition, isn't it? But the thing about you two is, like, you were again, my choice of words are terrible today. You were brought in as like the straight knowledge for the episode, you know, to give us, because again, Glenn is the psychic, and I'm sort of more skeptical. Again, before I met Glenn at all, I was like, ghosts aren't real. This is bollocks. Don't believe it. Now, having met Glenn, become friends with Glenn, I'm more open now to different ways of thinking.
I'm still super skeptical.
Yeah, and that's why I think it worked.
Pretty hard line skeptical.
Yeah,
I don't really believe in anything.
But I don't fully believe in everything either. But he's opened me up to other ways of thinking. Yeah. You know, and unless I get proof that this never happens, I won't. Because again, I think for a while there, I would have considered myself to be an atheist, but I don't believe that anymore. I think I'm agnostic now.
Yeah, open to the idea of things.
Yeah, because I mean, I think religions, obviously, there's many positives to it. There's some negatives to it as well. But if someone's wants that in their life and they're happy, work away. That's my view on it.
That's what I'm sort of like too. Like, even though I'm super skeptical about things, like I'm not going to diminish anybody else's views on that, you know. And I think there's probably something out there. This is getting really philosophical, isn't it? Deep. Like, but I think there's probably something out there, but I don't think that we have the brain power to know exactly what it is, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, because like even anything, like how humans are formed is mental to me. Like how a human, and in the Big Bang, all anything's possible. And I saw somebody talk about like the chances of you even being born. Not you specifically, everybody. Like, I mean, your parents had to meet that exact moment. Like, I was told the night my mum and dad met, my dad wasn't going to go out. They met like some sort of local disco, and my uncle persuaded my dad to go out. So can you imagine if he didn't do that? My dad stayed in.
There'd be no you.
Would it be born? Even if they met later, the chances of me actually being actually born at that exact time, you know.
And you being you out of the like little seeds that all, you know, it's mental. And it's like, and when you think about it, like literally, it's probably not something you want to put into your mind right now. But you know, even like whenever I'm like, where did you meet your wife?
The Egg.
Oh, nice. Was it like a student night out you were on, or was it a?
I think I just, what was it, 2011, so just a year or two out of uni, you know, sort of thing. It was just night out, just and what, because this is the thing that I think to people nowadays is baffling. The thought of generally just like genuinely meeting somebody in a bar and not being like, you know, she doesn't remember me.
Right. Okay. Very dammer off you.
It's quite
She doesn't remember me, but I remember.
I think she was just steaming later on, like, but 2 weeks later I met her again, and then she remembers that time. So that's her official time. My official time was 2 weeks before that.
Right. Okay. So, yeah. And so what was it then? Because again, how I met Catherine was one of those ones that's like, similar to your folks. Was her friend brought her to a gig? Yeah. Because she was sad about being dumped by a boy. It wasn't that, you know? But it was my friend Connor was friends with a guy who worked with Tina. And then they were on like a work night out or something like that. Okay. And then I went up there, heard her accent because from Ballycastle. So obviously I had to slag it off. You know, of course. As you do. Anybody outside sort of Belfast, Hollywood, Manchester, vicinity. Yes. And then the rest is history. Yeah. You know? So. There you go. And we all know how you feel about history. I love history. Yeah, so there you go. So I love my wife. Yeah, perfect. There we go, full circle. But no, that was the thing, because a lot of people at the start, you know, when I met Catherine, you met her at a gig, it sounds like the perfect cover of Tinder or Grindr or Bumble. A gig. You know, at a gig, but that genuinely did happen, and it was a horrible gig. That wasn't a horrible gig. The gig went fine, but it was roasting. Can you out the band? Oh, I was doing a show. Oh, you were doing a show? Oh, I thought you were at a gig, like a music gig or something? No, I was at a comedy gig. Right. So I was doing a gig with Shane in the Black Box. Oh, okay. And it was like a pre-Edinburgh Fringe, like work in progress type thing. Right. And her friend, I think, really liked Shane. So it was like, just come along, I like this guy. Now, knowing Catherine now, doesn't like stand-up, hates it. Anytime I try to watch, she's like, I don't like it. Well, why do you like me? Because you're sexy. I'm like, stop. Well, the gig, like, a lot of times, I one of my like skunk type reactions is if I get nervous, I just sweat. Yeah. So I just get, and this was a gig. I was in the Black Box. It was roasting. My material wasn't doing that well, and I was just so sweaty, so sweaty. It was horrible. Like, it was so gross. And then afterwards, her friend came up to speak to Shane and I or whatever, and she came up as well. And like, I didn't want to be awkward and not like, you know, like I didn't want to like bow to her or anything or do any like fist bump or anything. So I just like, hugged her, and I was like, oh my god, this world's sweatiest man. Thankfully, she was also a bit sweaty, so, and she was like, I was really embarrassed because blah blah. She's gonna love you said that, but I know she's adores it. I'm sure but she's heard way worse from me anyway. But she we just ended up having just really good general chit chat, you know, and then that was it. And went from there. So did Shane then, is that his partner now? The one he met that? No, I think he's been with his partner longer than that. And is your wife still friends with the girl? Not so much. Not so much. Yeah, I mean, listen. Let's move on. You know, but listen, I don't think there's any like. I just think, you know, when people think you grow apart sometimes, and it's no. That's life. You just thought it'd be nice, you know. You have that. I introduced them, sort of thing, you know. Yeah. Well, I mean, she didn't introduce. She brought her. Yeah. And I just, you know, I just did my magic of sweating all over. And like, you know, ever watch the Twilight films? Yeah. You know, in Twilight they imprint on people and they just go shh, and then I just sweat on people. Whenever I sweat on them, that's. Do you ever watch Key and Peele? Yes. Do you ever see the sweating one where his wife finds his history? the browsing history. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? It's basically that. Yeah, but I mean, my sweat. It's like I'm really into sweating, and I'm not. I'm really into like zombie things at the minute. I'm a big fan of zombies. Yeah. What's your go-to zombie show? The show, just show or movie? Show, movie, whatever. Yeah. I do like the original Dawn of the Dead. Like, yeah, it's a classic. Like, I watched the whole of The Walking Dead. Yeah. Because that's what we're into season. I want to say 4 or 5 now. Okay. So you're quite new. So yeah, I'm quite new to it. And again, it was Catherine saw a video. I mean, here's the thing: for a woman that doesn't like horrors, doesn't like anything to do with like children going missing, anything like that, she's like, I don't want to watch that. Right. She saw a clip on Facebook of, you know, the scene season 2. So this is going to be a spoiler here if you're planning on watching The Walking Dead, where Herschel's barn is opened. Shane opens Herschel's barn.
Yeah.
And they find
harrowing.
Carol's daughter, Sophia.
Oh, Jesus.
She saw that and went,
"Oh,
want to watch this." So, you know, what a weird
say about her sake.
Exactly. She's like, you know what? Maybe the girls were doing her head in that day. And she's like, so.
I think there's some good ones if you're wanting to branch out a bit more. Watch some Korean ones.
Right.
Good.
Okay.
Train to Busan's really good.
Koreans are always the masters of horror though too, aren't they?
Fucking class. Like, and there's not even that big a budget, and they do so much with it. Like, so
yeah.
Watched one called #Alive last week. So me and my friend, shout out Rob here, we did this thing over lockdown where we have we pick a movie for each other each week, and we're still doing it now.
Right. So he picks one for you to watch.
He picks one for both of us.
Yeah. All right.
And
okay.
I pick one, so we pick two all together in a week, and then we'll watch them. You know.
Do you watch them together, or do you?
No. Sure. During lockdown, we're just bored a lot of the time,
Yeah.
so it started from that, and we're still going. Like. So.
And do you would you watch it with your wife as well?
Sometimes I'll try and like throw one in that we can sort of watch in the evening or whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll just be like after work or on lunch or whatever else, you know.
Because we always disagree about what to watch. Again, the point being, I like a horror. I like stand up. She doesn't like stand up. Doesn't like horror. I mean, I was going to say I like when kids go missing in shows. I don't, but like that would be her. She'd be totally against. That's so The Walking Dead for her was a real left field choice, I would say.
And does she like it?
Yeah, she loves it. Like you know when you get into a show, you're like, you just have to, like, she's raging. I've got like 4 gigs in a row. She's like, so I'll be 4 nights in a row. You'll be out. And
do you think she sneakily watches it?
She doesn't, because I'm now into it. Like there are some things that we have started watching together. Like one that really pisses me off. We were watching The Handmaid's Tale and I loved it, and she just didn't like it, and she's like, well, I don't want to watch it now.
Just stopped.
So stopped.
Yeah.
You know, and that just kills me every time, because I'm gonna have to. I don't know where in my day I'm gonna get time to watch that.
See, I'll also save shows sometimes.
Yeah.
My wife, and I'll be like, "Can we watch this?" Like, yeah, we'll watch this one tonight. And then it'll go on and on and on. I'll be weeks later and I still haven't watched the show, and then I'm like, "Can we? Here, I'm gonna watch this." And I'm like, no, I want to watch it. So it just goes on and on, just perpetually. Yeah. So I think I need to put my foot down sometimes.
Yeah, and say this is what. Just put it on. Because it's like that old adage of, you know, like, what's for dinner? Oh, what do you want? Oh, anything. Oh, do you want, like, steak and chips? No, I don't fancy that. What about pasta? No. And it's like, well, you know, you can't win. It's like,
give me something here.
You know, when can we watch that? Well, anything you want. And I was like, we've given you all the options. There's no cuisine left. It's like that with the shows. Yeah. And I watched one that I just saw on Netflix the other week. It was called the Murda Murders.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Started it.
Yeah. I just went, I want to watch this. And I just started it myself with my earphones in, just when I got it was good.
Did your wife want to watch it? And she
no.
It's all good.
No, she's like, I would know, like, and I was like, I know that's why. But no, The Walking Dead is like, and have you finished it up to?
Yeah, up season 11.
And is there going to be more? Do you think?
There's spin-offs, a couple of spin-offs.
Right, okay.
So I'm not going to give it away because you'll
I know
hear what's happening.
Because I'm trying to work out who. I think at the last thing I saw, I think Carol got sent away by Rick because she burnt the bodies in the prison. So
yeah,
she's away.
She went on a wee bit of a wild trick.
Because you know how I know she's coming back, because she has like the like mid-noughties lesbian haircut at the minute. It's like just short and just, and then I know on like the saving screen on Disney Plus, she's there with full long hair. So I'm like, yeah, she'll be back.
She's wearing it well too.
Yeah, she looks good. But I just feel like we have a thing at the minute, like who's going to, because a load of them just die on the way.
It doesn't take any prisoners.
No.
You know, which is, there's going to be some harrowing moments ahead for you.
Yeah,
you know?
There have been a few moments, like obviously Laurie dying was sad.
Spoiler.
Yes, if we're talking about The Walking Dead, there's going to be spoilers here.
Yeah.
Dale getting killed was the worst, I thought, for me.
That was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
I'd say it's been so long since I've watched that series. Like,
yeah, but
because there's 20 odd episodes in it. Series, isn't there, like?
There's a lot, and then it's like, you know, they're taking the piss when there's like a break in a season. It's like, it's not a new season, it's just a break.
Yeah, 100%.
And then we just watched one that split into the next step, like a season break, and it came back and everyone had different like hair. It was all like restyled and all. You're like, come on.
Did you see what it was like after lockdown?
Yeah, no, but it's a brilliant, like, because I'm writing a couple of things at the minute, so whenever I'm watching like this, the writing in this and the characters, unbelievable.
I meant to ask you, see, when you're like doing stand up, do you still get nervous?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was saying to you before we came on this, like, I get nervous going to podcasts because you always think, like, am I going to blank or something, or I'm not going to be able to talk about it. But then you realise that in general life, and you're talking to your mates and stuff, like, you're just chatting away, chatting shite.
Because again, I think that's the thing with podcasts as well. It's like you get so used to it. I sort of say with a guest episode, just pretend we're out for a coffee or something.
Yep.
Treat it like we're just, and now there's obviously lights in your face and there's a camera.
Yeah.
But still treat it like, because again, it can be like, I was again with Glenn. He had not done any podcasts at the start, and now I might as well just be the co-host. He just comes in and does whatever.
Well, he's gonna waltz in.
But
today.
I mean, listen, he's probably listening to us. But that's that's the thing. It can be, no matter what. I think you always have a wee element of nerves. And with stand up, it's like, I'm lucky at the minute that I'm enjoying it so much that it's like I look forward to going to gigs. Sometimes if you're booked to do a gig, you can tell in advance if it's going to be terrible. And one of those ones you're like, I just need to get through this. And some of them you do, and some of them you go, this has altered my general life.
I've heard so many people saying like dinners and stuff, and people just aren't listening. You're hired for like a hotel one when there's a big dinner and stuff. Like, there's a couple of people said that their worst gigs have been there. Yeah,
they are bad. Like gigs generally where people where the entire audience aren't there for a gig.
Yeah,
they're generally not a lot of fun.
You're just there as a
because I mean, you've been to Christmas do's yourself. You want to go and get bladdered.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to have to go, fuck me, what's he going to do here? You know what I mean? And when you're there, it's like, and you don't want to be there.
They just put you to stand up instead of like the stage at the side. Put you up in the middle of the table.
Yeah, or they should put you in another room and be like, listen, if any of you guys want to watch a bit of stand up, you can go into this other room. Or
just like come down from the roof.
See, I don't know if you could
Shawn
get
Michaels.
I don't know if you could get a harness. I'd be sort of more than one hard to think I'd come if I was in a harness. I don't think you need like a super strong harness.
Don't look that up.
No, don't. It's harrowing. But yeah, those gigs can be bad. But then again, I think if that's the way. Like I did a corporate not so long ago, at a hockey club, and I was shitting myself about it because. I had like my stepdad, or my stepdad? No, my father-in-law. But my father-in-law was a member there, so I was going up being like, I can't be shit, or he'll not be able to show his face. I can't scumber him, And then like all my brother-in-laws and all, I'm like, I can't embarrass him by being so shit. But then I thought, you know what? I'll just go have a nice time, and then you have to keep telling yourself, I'm good at what I do. It'll be grand.
And I've watched your stuff before.
Yeah, and it was grand. So that was one of the ones that I was really nervous about recently because of the again, it's never me. I can deal with it and get over it. But it's if I embarrass someone in my family, it's like just horrible. Cause any drama, you just don't want that.
I just want to ever tell a story that I shouldn't have told accidentally, and then I've just blurted it out. Oh, and then
yeah, but that's the podcast problem.
It's the joy of editing,
because very 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 seldom do I ever get behind the cut stuff. The odd time. Maybe one or two things have happened, and there's been issues where I've said something I shouldn't have in a podcast, get into all sorts of issues, family trouble, other stuff, and it's just drama sometimes, and you're like, don't mind it. I'm just trying to be silly for people to laugh.
It's comedy, mate,
Yeah, but I think that's the problem too. You forget how many people listen to podcasts. Like we're in here, it's the two of us. Ben will go and cut it together, and thousands of people will watch and hear this.
Will Ben ever tell you? You'd be like, there was something recorded there.
No, because Ben...
Are you sure you want to put it in?
Ben has got so... he cuts it together, but sometimes he'll not even look back, and there'll be times I'll be doing... Like, I sometimes say things that are really X-rated in order... as a sign to be, you have to cut this. You know what I mean? So I'll be sitting here, I'll be like spitting out horrendous words and blah blah blah, and I'll be like, obviously you don't want to have that in. But then if he doesn't watch it back, it's in. Like I remember he did one, and I was like, Ben, my career's over here. Don't. So now I just don't do that. I just go cut and
see if he's paying attention here.
Yeah, but sometimes he won't, and you go, oh no.
Hi Ben.
I know he won't say it or hear it. Don't worry. Fuck you.
He's past through that. Like you can say anything about it.
But that's the way of it. But is that something you have enjoyed doing? Obviously, with the page, in terms of making a step, would you have any desires to maybe go into podcasting or into more media, sort of traditional media routes?
It's fine the time. If I was doing it full time, I think I would probably consider it. But just what to sort of talk about. It's a very niche market talking about Belfast. So we'd have to branch out a little bit more. I think on that. But yeah, it's always something I would consider in the future, but not anytime soon, I don't think.
See, that's the thing, the natural progression, because you document NI, document Ireland, document, you can document anything. Document Berlin. You could, just keep, would that be the dream for you, to get a like a travel agency to come to you and be like, listen, we're going to fund you to travel around, document it?
Absolutely. So if anybody's out there and wants to sponsor me, I'm very happy to do that. No problem at all. I'll sell my soul.
Yeah. And have you got any offers of anything through the page, or do you get any maybe freebies or any like invites to do's or anything?
There's a few. I've been to Guinness twice, like the Storehouse 2 times, which is very good because I'm a big Guinness fan. And they've invited me down to Dublin a couple of times for events and stuff. So they're the really good ones. Like, but I'm happy to do anything. Like, I'm very grateful. Yeah.
So Guinness, are you a big fan of Guinness?
Love Guinness.
We've spoken about this privately before. You've had the Fieldies Guinness in Bangor, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We did a tour. Me and my friends Marty and Chris and Dave did a wee tour around Bangor. Just giving a wee plug there too. You know, wee shout out
to the great city of Bangor, my kingdom.
Yeah, we wouldn't say city.
But, well, it is.
You know,
so
I know.
Did you want? You wouldn't, but it is.
Well,
you know.
Played up.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was very good. Actually, there's surprisingly a lot of bars in Bangor. Like, it's not a huge place, obviously, but there's a hell of a lot of bars.
Now, all I'm going to say is technically Bangor is a city. Okay. Now, is it a coincidence that since I moved there, it's got its city status?
Who knows?
No. Listen, there are brown envelopes being passed around from me to people, and listen, I'm a man with influence, and we made it. We got it there.
Make yourself sound like you're in Snatch.
Hey, well, if I'm lucky in a weekend, you know,
camel coat on next.
Yeah, out of the camel toe, just
right, mate.
But it's a great spot. I think this is where, because whenever I was growing up, I thought Bangor was naff, you know, and I think it probably is if you're like in your teens, you know, whereas whenever you're in your 30s, like you get away from the nightclub element and you just like a quiet bar. And the bars in Bangor are smashing down too.
All of my mates like love just a wee quiet pub now.
Yeah.
Like my mate Paddy is notorious for it as well. Like he's become, he won't mind me saying this, he's become an old man, like, you know. And he just likes a wee quiet pint in a pub, and that's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
Wee bit of music on maybe in the background, you know. It's nice. Our local's quite good, like in Dunmurray for that. Millie's it's called.
Millie's in Dunmurray. Shout out to Millie's in Dunmurray. I would say I would check it out, but it's too close to Lisburn, so for that reason it's going to be for that reason alone I am out. Yeah.
It's still in Belfast though.
Right, okay.
It's still in the vicinity of the city.
So that's right. So you aren't you would not consider yourself Lisburn then, no?
I'm Belfast City Council.
Right, okay. Because that was a wee bit of a contentious issue for a while, whenever the boundaries were moved about what's Castlereagh, what's Lisburn, what's Belfast.
They've moved like 3 times in my spot, so literally the street over is Lisburn. So it's like the boundary is right on one of my streets.
And would you get out on the street with a placard and be like, no?
Yeah. I mean, all due respect to Lisburn, I prefer living in Belfast, obviously being back in Belfast.
Yeah.
You know?
No, because I have... Before, I've actually on last week's podcast, in fact 2 weeks ago, I issued an apology to Lisburn because I didn't like it. But you know what? Now with hindsight, having given the apology, you know,
did you do a gig there?
I did.
Is that why?
No, but the gig, you know what? That was why I apologised, because the gig was delightful.
Yeah,
we did Thornbury's, and the people who run Thornbury, shout out to you guys. Great wee spot, and I've eaten there before when I worked in Lisburn, and I hated working in Lisburn. But the grub there was amazing. I always like a restaurant where, you know, they do good like home food. And they do smashing potatoes, great grub in there. Thornbury's a good spot. And the gig, what I liked about it, right? There was this chat for a while that the gig was outdoors. I'd heard this outdoors. Are you mad? And then I was asking, are they outdoors? And Sean Haggerty, who runs it, do you know Sean? Don't you?
Yeah. It was always on doing his podcast.
Yeah, that's right. So I'd asked Sean, I was like, is it outside? And he was like, no. I said, was it? And he was, well, once, because that's where the space was. It was outside, and you know, whatever. But then we're there this time, it was inside, and the owners were like, yeah, we realised there was a desire to see stand-up in Lisburn. There was nowhere really happening regularly. So like we like they had like loads of, you know, booths and stuff upstairs for dining. They ripped the booths out and made a space. And see, when you hear that, you go to yourself,
that's commitment.
Respect, you know, that they obviously really want it to work, and that's what you need for anything to work, is for the people behind it to be committed to it, and they are. And you know what? It's a great night. Thornbury's is a great spot. I loved it.
I must try it.
Yeah, you should. And you know what? You should, because it is a good spot. And I would, and I don't throw recommendations out easily, especially for Lisburn. But Thornbury's gets my seal of approval.
on his wee slide egg there.
There's always going to, it's a Sly Guy podcast, you're always going to get a bit of slyness.
People are used to it in Lisburn,
you know,
as well,
especially.
You know.
But you know what, no, Bangor, I was a wee bit about moving to Bangor, because, you know, I had not lived in Bangor per se. I've been North Down all my life, Hollywood, then Crawfordsburn, and I was like, But now, I would, you know, I would sell Hollywood and I would sell Crawfordsburn to Belfast City Council to see if Bangor,
it's a bold statement.
A Bangor by the sea man now.
You'll be run out of town.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was walking around Hollywood before I came in here. Went into a couple of charity shops, okay? Because I like wee glass, right? I would collect like old like beer glasses and stuff like that, right? I say collect. I just keep them in the cupboard.
And drink out of them?
I drink out of them. So they are used as well. But I found some lovely old glasses in there. I bought 2 of them. Nice.
And do you have them with you?
Yes.
Can I see them? Can we see them?
Yeah, they're 2 of the same ones. It's like an 80s harp glass. So, do you ever see those old Troubles adverts where they're all in a bar and the bar gets shot out?
Yes. There we go. An old harp.
There you are. And you can see it's a really old one, because the more modern ones have like the date of when it was made on it.
Yeah, and what does that say? 2043? Is that one from the future?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's what the harp's going to look like.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this podcast, by the way, is sponsored by Modest Beer, not Harp, just in case Modest try to...
Shit.
No, it's okay. Harp exists. Modest are cool. Modest are chill guys, but just in case.
Can I see these?
Yeah, of course you can.
So these are the Modest Beers.
They're Modest Beer. Have you tried Modest Beer yourself?
I have tried Modest Beer. I think it was like a pink label one I tried before.
And what did you think of it?
It was actually lovely. This looks like it would blow the head off you.
Yes. See, I'll tell you a wee story about those 7.8 percenters. Modest did an event in Ned's in Hollywood, and we went down and had a nice time and had a few pints there. And if you have a pint, say a pint's what, normally like 4.5% and around 4 or 5%.
Yeah.
And you can sort of, you know, have the session pints and get it on board. I had about 5 or 6 pints at 7.8%, and ended up necking a bottle of Evian hanging off a bin outside Ned's, and a couple of mates walked past. You alright, Dave? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just waiting on the taxi. And then the taxi pulled up, and it wasn't a taxi, it was my mummy.
Oh no.
So I was like, when I phoned the taxi, hey, Mum, I need you. Fucking, what happened? I've had 7 pints. And I was like, fucking bladdered. But it was delicious, and I had a really good time. But just if you're going to drink the 7.8 percenters, be sensible.
In moderation.
In
moderation.
I like what you've done there.
See, my brother, he lives in Netherlands at the minute. He lives in Rotterdam. And half the beers you get over there, like Belgian ones and Dutch ones, they're like 7, 8, 9%. They drink drinks, like they drink beer in like half pint glasses over there, and you can see why now. It's like, because you get bloated.
Yeah, see, the only place I would go for the half pinters are on holidays, like in Spain or somewhere, because I like it. I think it's an old man thing too, isn't it? You like it to be cold.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
you don't want to be supping on a pint. That's like, and you know what? I don't drink in hot weather as much. Guinness. Yeah,
I wouldn't even at all. Yeah,
it's not. It can be refreshing, but it's not like a fresh drink on a summer's day.
No,
you know what I mean.
That's, you're sort of going more for a cold pint or a cider, maybe even on a cold day.
Cider would be a hangover drink of mine.
Yeah,
so would, you know, second day affair.
Yeah,
like, you know,
like is that a second day affair to recover from the hangover, or is that to go again?
Little from column A, little from column B. You know, it can be either or. So say like you're on a stag or whatever, and you want a second wind, drink a few of the ciders, and you're half gone already, and you're fine again. Like, you know,
back to go,
because it's sweet.
Yes, no, I think you need a bit of sugar in there, because I made a bit of a balls up. I went away a couple of weekends ago, and I brought a lot of beer and a lot of wine. But then I sometimes find like I go off beer right and quick, and you need something a wee bit sweeter, and I just had nothing there to keep me going.
See, wine's good for it because it's not gassy either. Yeah, you don't burp.
Yeah,
so
true. But then you get bloated on wine.
Guinness really gets me fecked up as well.
Yeah.
See, when you hit the air.
Yeah.
When you're after a big lock of Guinness pints, like,
getcha.
There's a fuck.
But you know what, Guinness, I do go back to the old school Guinness. Now, do you know any of the history of Guinness? Now, obviously, you've been down to the warehouse.
Partially, yeah.
So
his wife had like 13 kids.
To him?
To him.
Go ahead. Guinness has given him something.
She's the real MVP there. Like.
Yeah, it's a root. You know?
Jesus Christ.
But in terms of the Guinness, there was like you've heard the rumours about Buckfast was medicinal in its first instance. Guinness and Buckfast, are they both? Was there some medicinal purpose to that, or a lot of iron in it?
There was always the adverts about iron.
Yeah,
I've heard that's not true at all.
Yeah,
like, you can get more iron in like a few pieces of broccoli. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would say to most people, if you're looking some health, Go for the broccoli above
not
the Guinness.
10 pints of Guinness comparatively. Like,
but I mean, I do like that as an excuse. If you go back to like the 1940s, you know, war times, the 1930s, 40s, 20s, you're just like, listen, I need to go out. This is for my health. I need to go out and get this Guinness.
Guinness is good for you. That was the tagline, remember?
The slogan, yeah.
Guinness for strength, and I was holding a girder.
See, that's a great excuse to get out of the house, away from the wife and the kids. You know, I'm way to get stronger here. You know,
you couldn't get away with that now. People would actually on TikTok lift girders after drinking a pint of Guinness, and they'd probably die.
Yeah, drop it in their heads.
You know? Well, you would die. You wouldn't be able to do it.
No, but these TikTok trends are getting ridiculous now. Like, I would assume you're more into the world of TikTok than I am.
Yeah, it's going well. The followers on TikTok are more. It is a cesspit sometimes. Mm-hmm. See any video I put up on like the Troubles and things like that, you just know it's just gonna
like trolls and abuse, or what's it like there?
Just Brits this, Fenians that, all that
the classics
crap, and it's like it just goes into a big war in the comments, and I'm sort of like there's a point when it gets hundreds of comments, and you're like, I can't really moderate this anymore. It's like you'll try your best to get the most vicious comments out. Yeah. But then you just like, okay, you're adults, just go ahead.
But is there anything on TikTok? Because I have a TikTok, but Ben does most of my posting on it, because I don't. For me, I just think I end up getting too into it, like to the point of the comments and blah blah. And I just don't want to see that. I just want to put stuff out and you know.
I argue a lot with people on TikTok, and I shouldn't do it.
Yeah, and does it still get you?
Yeah, it's not even that. Like, I don't get offended by things or anything. I'm just sort of like, will you stop being a dick? Like, and I have to like try my best to bring them down to earth, sort of thing. Some of my mates are like, why are you even doing it? And Tina, my wife Tina, like, is always like, why are you arguing with people on TikTok and Facebook and everywhere? I'm like, I don't know what I sort of feel I am, or something, like sort of Captain America type guy, like just rushing in to try and like stop these people from fucking arguing or something. But I just can't help myself sometimes.
And what is it, the sort of thing? Is it just base level ignorant sort of comments, or do you have people that ever come at you and be like, well, factually that's incorrect?
Sometimes, like there was one I put up on it was the last British Army patrol in Belfast. Now it was actually the last daily one that was done.
Right, okay.
So you stop in every day. Obviously there was usually everybody on the streets every day. And I put up in the text bit in the video itself the last British Army patrol, September 1988. Okay. And then I put it in the body of the actual text itself in the post, last daily one. Yeah. But people obviously go to the one in the video and they're like, no, actually it's the last daily. This wasn't the last blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah. But just the odd thing, like.
And what's the thing that sort of gets your thread and gets you really fucking annoyed? Like, what's the ones that you're like, I have to reply to this. I'm sorry, I'm doing it.
Pure unadulterated sectarianism, I think.
Yeah, and is there a lot of that still?
Yes, quite a lot, unfortunately. Now, in fairness, it could be the same people doing it on different accounts. Yeah, because you can be a bit faceless on it, you know. Yeah. But it's usually the same sort of types, just people just arguing with each other about like Brits out and Fenian bastards and all that jazz, and you know, but. What can you do? Yeah,
and what then? How do you get rid of them on TikTok? Can you like just get them barred, or do you just?
Yeah, you can block them. Yeah, I usually give them a warning first. Like if it's not too bad a comment, I'll go like, can you not post that on my page? Yeah, and then if they just keep on doing it, I'll just block them. Yeah, but you have to think of the algorithm too. More people are commenting.
Yeah, see that's the thing that I've heard. I had Geedy, who's a TikToker on the podcast before, and he had told me, no, like he comments on every even negative stuff. Yeah. And I was like, but why? And he keeps mentioning an algorithm, and I'm as an old guy, I'm like, what does that even mean? He's like, no, just you have an engagement, blah blah blah.
If more people comment or save the video and stuff, you'll get more views on it, which is a sad fact thing. But like, there's a point where I'm like, if they're mild enough comments, I'll be like, if just people are just arguing about history and stuff, I'll be like, okay, I'll keep that. But if they get too personal about things, I'll take it off, because it's horrible online, like sometimes.
And what do you see any real impact on the views and things? Like if you get a video that gets, like, what's sort of the highest views you've had in a video? Is there anything that you've gone like, whoa, that's blown up?
Couple of 100,000 for some of my own ones, and then I shared one of like annotated one for Paddy's Day. Yeah. Last year, it was Hosier. Yes. He was doing like a rhyme or like a song about Irish whiskey and stuff, and I annotated it and put out a cut version of that, and that got like nearly 3 million.
Oh, why? Nice.
So that was a good one. Like.
And then does that then translate into you getting followers and things and opportunities there too?
Yeah, it's good.
Listen to this old guy.
So how does that work then? Does that mean if the video gets views, you get followers then? Is that how that whole system works?
But then people, right, so there's misconception here. So they might see that one video that might be a little bit different to the ones you put out usually, and then they may not come back to your page regularly then. Do you know what I mean? So it may not actually be their thing. So you get more followers, but you may not get more views out of it. You need regulars to do that, you know.
And what do you think? So obviously you're across a few platforms. Would the two main ones be Instagram and TikTok? TikTok and
TikTok, Instagram, and then Twitter for the odd wee one, like, you know.
Yeah. So what then do you think is the best platform for what you're doing at the minute?
Twitter is good because I can actually put a big spiel in it.
Yes.
There's more characters in that. Instagram probably for engagement. I think Instagram's my bread and butter one.
Right, okay.
TikTok for views and everything else. Like, yes, but Instagram's probably the one I talk to people most on. I think.
Yeah.
So I like that one the best. Like.
Yeah, no, I'd be the same because I sort of think I see a lot of views that people get on videos on TikTok.
Yeah.
But then it's like it doesn't always convert into like bumps on seats.
Yeah.
Because that's the business we're in, really. Tickets and whatever. And you don't really see that a lot.
No, you don't.
Like, sometimes I look at TikTok and go, is it China? Like what are these guys?
China.
It's China. You know, and I just sort of see it and go, like, what does that mean? Like who are watching these videos, you know?
Yeah.
And like I have found that like with Instagram it's more people maybe following you rather maybe than the videos just, and like I have definitely noticed you get harsher, more unacceptable comments on TikTok than you would on Instagram.
Because people have TikToks, whoever governs the actual messages, the governor of TikTok, would the moderators, I suppose would be called. Yeah,
the governor. Yeah, Walking Dead reference there for anyone.
TikTok. They just don't seem to care. So if you can report something, they don't give a shit. Like,
but it's weird though because you could put up a video with the word "butt" in it.
Yeah,
and they'll be like, nobody can see that. Sorry,
can't say butt.
Yeah, which is annoying because I had a great bit with Aaron Butler, whose name is Butler, and you say "button it." You know? So you can't say his bloody surname without the word "butt."
Were you not able to put it on?
No, because then we were talking about him being the butt. Like people call him Buttman.
Yeah.
So we're like, somebody asked the question, and I think it was, do you have a good enough butt to be going around with the nickname the Buttman?
Okay.
And that was it. And it's like,
and does he?
He's queer ass on him. Yeah.
I never met the man. Like,
you know,
so.
But I mean, you just look at him and go like, Buttman by name. You know.
So if I ever meet him, I'm gonna be looking straight at his ass.
Yeah, straight away, and you'd be like the Buttman. You know, it's a fair thing. But that's the thing that gets me. Sometimes I'll put up a video and they're like, the Chinese government directly from Beijing will stop. You put it up and you'll be like 12 views, and I was like, but there's not. What's wrong with this video?
You're shadow banned.
Yeah, and like I don't know what shadow ban means.
It just means they secretly ban you in the background for a while. Maybe suspend your account a little bit, but like stop people from seeing it.
I don't like it.
No, nor do I. But it's like kind of like when you see American TV.
Yeah.
Like you can't say ass and stuff. It beeps it out. And then there's like some guy shooting up a place, you know.
Yeah. Speaking
on
of which, shit, did you see the guy just murdered a guy? It was on Twitter. Some guy just shot a homeless guy in St. Louis.
No.
St. Louis. Yeah, just literally it was a video. It was like, oh, he's loading up his gun, and then you saw him, and then the guy pulled the camera and he just shot him.
Jesus Christ.
It's wild. The world is wild.
The world is crazy. Like, America's going nuts.
Yeah, it's mad to be sitting in Northern Ireland and going, it's quite safe here, isn't it?
We're very safe here.
Yeah.
That's what people are always asking me that. Like, you know, is it safe to come here? Is it safe to do this and that? But we're like, I think it's like top 10 safest places in Europe.
Because do you get a lot of that then from tourists and people following your page to just see what Belfast's like?
There's a shit ton of misconceptions about the city still. Like, you know, I mean, you see the odd very violent act over here, but you'll see that in any bigger growing country.
Yeah.
Any city will have violent acts. You go to London, you go to Nottingham, you go to Birmingham, wherever. Like, you know, you're going to see violent acts happening. Belfast is very, very safe. And if you're out there watching and looking to come to Belfast and worried about the safety here, you're absolutely fine.
Now, if you do come here and something does happen, I'm sorry. That's Connor's opinion.
Disclaimer.
If something happens, but Connor told us on the SLY podcast we'd be fine.
I can't help everything happening, obviously. That's just the luck of the draw, of course. Like, go to any city. But, you know, probabilities. Yeah. You're going to be fine.
But you know what I have noticed? And I mean, this. I call out, listen, I've called out councils here. I do it. I call them out. I say I have issues with them.
That's fair.
I called out the Arts and North Down Borough Council. They're trying to do my coastal path. They scrapped the plans.
Yep.
Again, just want to say, I put my weight behind that campaign.
Yep.
Got the result we want. Moved to Bangor City. I'm the man. I'm the Bangor guy.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I love it. So what I want to call out here is Belfast. city council, you're letting the city centre fall into a state of disrepair, I've noticed. Now, see, since I have come back post-lockdown for gigs and things, you're coming out and it's like, there looks to be like the Golden Mile is totally, it's like dilapidated now. It's wild. There's the rubbish just around the streets are terrible, and also there seems to be a big increase in homeless people. So support those guys, help them out, do a bit of regeneration. What do we do? This is a game I wanted to play with Catherine, and she said, "You need to get a life. You're a nerd." I said, "Let's walk around Bangor City Centre with a notepad and find the empty spots and make it like a wee game. Just make wee suggestions what we do." So as somebody who has a love of Belfast and has known the knowledge of Belfast, what would you do to try to clean Belfast up or improve Belfast a bit?
Well, obviously the socio-economic issues, like the homeless population of Belfast, need to sort them out. There's a lot of people with a lot of problems, alcohol problems, drug problems, you know, get them proper facilities where they can maybe try and improve their lives and get better, you know. It is an illness after all. I think people out there need to stop dehumanizing people that are homeless as well. You know, say druggies, addicts, that and stuff. Like, it's not fair. It's not their fault a lot of the time, you know. So sort out those problems around like a Castle Street in those areas. I think in terms like building wise, the problem is a lot of developers let old buildings go to ruin because it's easier to demolish it than to refurbish it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Which is a balls, like, really, because you want to keep the old buildings. You don't want to see everything get knocked down. So I think do that. Get more people living in the city centre too. You know, a lot of people don't live there. It's not affordable enough. There's not enough actual affordable housing. So there are three big main issues that need to sort on. And green routes as well. Yeah. Bikes and everything.
I thought that's just people that really supported the Green Party.
weed. I think I'll say there.
No, so more like you think that's something they need to increase. Like, I don't know, what would they do to do that?
Just pedestrianise more areas for one. There was a plan that was put in place. You know the Westlink?
Yes.
Everybody hates the Westlink.
Yes.
Okay. There was a plan.
Belfast bottleneck.
Yeah, exactly. There was a plan to make a tunnel like in Dublin underneath it. So from the Balls and the Falls out towards like Yorkgate.
Yes.
And just there a shit ton of lanes. You put as many as you want. They're underground.
Yeah.
Put those lanes underneath. Go to the other side, and then over the top have like a tram line, have pedestrian areas, wee parks, like playing fields, different things like that, and it would be lovely, like on top of it, rather than that monstrosity. Yeah, you know, that was a sectarian thing, you know.
Yeah, the Westlink, sure, it divides a lot of. You know, you can see that. So if you come off the first one, you're off like Clifton Street, and up there, and then the next you're off the Falls as well. And
on the back of what you were saying there, do you remember in Shane's podcast we were talking about River Farset?
Yes.
And Shane likes tunnels.
Yes. Rats do like tunnels. Yeah.
Splinter.
Yeah, the kind of rats.
Throwback there. So
that's a tremendous throw. That's months, maybe years even in the making that one. But it's a great callback.
So essentially, I emailed the Department for Infrastructure asking could get into the Farset. They've said no so far, but I'm being persistent on it.
Okay, and let me just ask about the Farset too. Do you need permission to get there? Or if say for talk's sake, you know, just spitballing here, if you were to appear and force your way into the Farset, sounds like a euphemism, that doesn't it?
I force your way into the Farset.
I'm gonna force my way into your Farset.
Your underground river. Oh God. Anyway, scrap that. I wouldn't recommend it. I would say they're probably bolted down, like the entries to it. Like, it's just under the things. It's the sewers.
So where do you gain access to it? Is there an entry point? They're going to get the Farset crew all out here, just all out with bolt cutters, Jerry Kelly and the boys. Just out.
I can't advocate this.
Yeah. Listen, we're not. I mean, now what would happen would be if podcast listeners did turn up, try to gain a break in the Farset, I'd say, listen, don't do it. Yeah, it's a silly idea. This is a bit we're doing. We're having a silly fun time.
It's only a bit of fun. Don't take us seriously.
But where's the entrance to the Farset?
I think they're probably in like the manhole covers. I think probably
any manhole cover.
I mean, it's literally just under the road.
See, I thought it was like at the Albert Clock. That's where I'm thinking the Farset.
It does go under that, yeah. The wee road beside it, you know, but it goes the whole way up.
Like a lot of listeners of the podcast do work off an evening at the Albert Clock, so they could just, when you knock off your shift, you can just.
Well, does anybody out there as well work for maybe DFI Rivers, Department of Infrastructure Rivers, and they could help us out there, like, you know?
Yeah.
Would you go into it?
If it's wide enough for a man of my size to get into.
I know Shane would.
Yeah, well, he is like a little slithery snake guy. He could at least put his long fingers down and like see what's down there. But you know what? I have a bit of a thing. I don't really like. I hate, like, you know, like those Like the tunnels in Vietnam, they would scare the shit out of me. See all those wee, couldn't do it.
I don't
Freak
think
me
any
out.
of us would fit in those.
No.
You know, like the wee hit. It's the wee hidden ones that pop up and shoot people.
Yeah, they wouldn't. I wouldn't. Anything underground that's too tight, I wouldn't fancy.
This would be like a proper access point, like because they need to do inspections and all. So I've asked them. They said no because they don't have the manpower to do it. Okay.
I'm a strong guy.
But I've said, you know, what if we come in, go with the guys who are already going down there, do a wee bit of filming, get out in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I just want to see what it's like.
Yeah.
I'd say there'd be actual rats down there.
Yeah, like big rats. I've seen those big fucking freak rats that are kicking about. Again, I don't want to say they're in Peru, but Peru always have those rare creatures. But there's just big rats, like huge big beasts of things.
I saw one in France, and it was the size of a spaniel.
Oh wow!
It was big, like. So it was.
And what did it do? Whenever did you startle it?
But no, we were going into like like those like key camp places, like the. Key camp.
Nope. Is
it
like
campsites? Just
campsites,
like
right?
Homes. No, like we were going to one of those in France when I was a kid, and one just bolted past the car.
Sacre bleu!
So what's the talking about?
This is it's my dog Vinny. He died, and we got his remains pressed and. No, he didn't. No, it's just a statue of him. He's alive.
Is he actually alive?
Yes, but it's just it's just like him basically. It's just a wee statue.
We got a new dog in January.
Yes, because your last one passed on, didn't it?
Wee Yoda.
R.I.P. So what's the new one? Luke Skywalker? Vader? Not
even joking.
There you go. I mean, and the weird thing is, you're not even a Star Wars fan. It's just coincidental name.
Just happened to be. It just means father in Dutch.
Vader, yeah.
Yeah, so Vader.
Yeah, so Vader, yes. And Vader, I assume, black dog.
He sure is.
Yeah.
It would be ironic if he wasn't.
Yeah, it would.
Like Little John.
Yeah, true. And so what is Vader and what's his story?
Same as Yoda. He's a working Cocker Spaniel. So he is 15 months old.
Nice.
He's a very good boy.
Good. And
rescue.
Very nice. See, I think that's probably would be my next one.
Yeah.
Unless I see like I want one of those big stinking ones.
What stinking?
Next, what are they called? They're big. They're like massive golden retrievers, but they're black Newfoundlands. Oh, that's what I would like next.
See, how big is your house?
Big. Well, I live in it, so it's big enough to fit me in. So if it could fit me, it can fit a big Newfoundland in.
Because like that would be my word. And the shedding, imagine the shedding of that dog.
True.
You know, in the summertime.
And the slobber.
And it's like you know in what was that movie?
Beethoven.
Yeah.
I would actually call my dog that. I'd call him Master Beethoven.
You master.
Yeah.
What's that in the park?
Yeah. Master Beethoven. It's like, it's just what's that stuff? It's splurging everywhere. Never you worry. You worry.
I was gonna call him Guinness or one there.
Yeah.
Because he has like a white streak down there too.
I see.
But then I decided to just run with the Star Wars
theme. Nice.
You know, but he's good.
So I know again, obviously Vader will be with you for a while now, but what would the next one be? Hans?
We're thinking of getting the second one.
Han?
You could do Han, couldn't you?
Han is hard though.
It'll have to be a German Shepherd.
Yeah. And would you go for a different breed?
Either maybe. Mm-hmm. I think so. I don't know what to get though. I kind of like wee corgis, you know.
Yeah, my sister has a Dachshund, which is very small. Very small.
I got told, like, see when they get older, like their bellies rub against the ground and all when they get older. And
their
like,
backs are too long.
You know? I love them. They're great dogs, like they're cute as fuck.
But they're also like, she's like, you can't hold her like this. And I was like, why? Because their spinal break. I was like, well, God's not done a great job on them.
Oh my God, does that actually happen?
Well, like they can because they can flop. You know.
There's no like, support.
I was holding her by her bottom legs, going, yeah.
You don't?
No, I wasn't.
You think they would put like a support pillar?
But like I went into my mum and dad's house and there was this monstrosity of a wooden ramp in the living room, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And they were like, oh, it's your sister's dog's ramp to get up on. It's like, why? It's like, well, if it jumps off the sofa, it can like crack its.
Can she get like a one wheel for the middle of them?
She should get it, you know, she should get that, but she hasn't yet. You know, I would just be saying, make her do planks, just really make her core super strong. But we went for a walk the other day with the puppy and Vinny, and she was like, oh, let him off the lead. And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea.
No.
And I did, and then he just trampled her, but like it's not through.
Yeah.
He just is a big playful goat, you know, and he caught over, trampled her.
I like beagles.
Beagles?
Yeah. They seem like nice, but then I've told her like they howl a lot.
Yeah.
which I couldn't be arse with. They're like huskies when they scream.
Yeah.
Have you seen those videos?
Yes, they're not a good noise.
Literally screaming, like not howling. Yeah.
Like, stop that, mate.
What are you doing?
Yeah, no, he's barked 5 times. I've said that before in the podcast, but that's been it. He's
5 times?
Yeah, just 5 times. I will keep counting if there's any more barks, but yeah, he doesn't. He's a shit guard dog, but a great guy.
That's good.
Let me see if we've got any questions, because I think I've held you long enough, and then also I have to go get my damn kids.
That's fair.
The damn kids ruin everything. No, they don't. They're great.
No.
They're great. Let me see.
I just have the dog.
Let's see. Oh wow, someone's just said that beard's getting queer and grey. Early onset Dumbledore. I mean, yeah, life's life. We're just growing a beard.
Jerry Adams.
Let's have a look at you, mate. Robert. Well, I mean, you look like a beaver, mate. There you go. What about that? I've got a grey beard, and you look like a beaver.
My mate Timmy, by the way, is a big fan of the show. So
yeah.
Can you
shout out to Timmy on the show? What does Timmy like about it? It's just me, generally. What is it he likes about me?
Just loves the show. Just listens to it. He listens to a lot of podcasts, and I think you've been one of his number one ones.
Nice. Well, so. Timmy, thank you very much for listening to the show. I am a fan of you in return.
He's an absolute scumbag, but
Listen,
he's a good guy, though.
Don't worry, you're good in my eyes. Matthew wants to know: have you ever thought of setting up a tour around Belfast? I feel it would kick the bollocks out of the other ones. They're going to go now. All right.
I don't want to start like a feud.
No, but I mean, there's feuds there to be started.
No, there's some great tours out there. I'm friends in particular with Connor and Paul. So Connor's from Belfast Hitting Tours, and then Paul's from Walking Tours Belfast, and they do a fantastic job. I would think about it, though. I would maybe do something a wee bit different, maybe a more secret sort of Belfast and stuff, and things like
the
that.
United Irishman upstairs in the bar,
like that one. I'm thinking about it. If there's enough interest out there, give me a shout if you're interested in me doing that, and I'll maybe think about that in the future.
Listen, so what I'd say to do is just get, and if you like that, comment on the video podcast. Say we would be keen for a secret tour.
Would you come on one?
Of course I would. Yeah. I would do
like wee tester tours.
Yes, I would do a tester tour. Now, would it be something like you've kind of spoken about your love of Guinness? Mm-hmm. Would you maybe do a secret tour of the best Guinnesses in Belfast?
Aye, or like one that links up with like historical bars that do good Guinness as well, and talk about that alongside it maybe. I
mean, that would have me. I would be totally keen for that.
But not too many.
No. Well, I mean, what's a pub crawl? Say 10 bars.
Fuck.
It's a great time.
Imagine
you did that every night.
I don't think American tourists would be able to handle that.
No.
Sorry to generalise here. Like,
but no, they couldn't. Those guys wouldn't be able to cope at all.
With Bud Light and stuff.
Yeah, and then after see the pouches you put in beer.
Pouches?
Like they put them in little.
Oh, the koozies?
Don't have those.
Nah,
they're the worst. Nah,
definitely not. And they've got those metal bottles as well.
Yes.
I had them at a baseball game in America last year.
Light. And they are like mini baseball bats.
Yeah. It's actually quite cool.
Yeah, no, they are quite cool. They would say they're aluminum bottles, but they'd be wrong.
Aluminium, there's an eye in it.
Yeah. Aluminum bottles. Shut
aluminum.
Right. Connor, it's been a treat to have you on the podcast. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Is there just ongoing anything you want to promote or just pass on the page, get people following you?
Yeah, if you want to follow me, I'm on Document Belfast on TikTok, Twitter and Instagram, and then I've got YouTube channel too, which is called Belfax, BELFACTS, and hopefully setting up a website soon as well, and maybe possibly some merchandise coming out.
There we go, some Document Belfast merchandise, and at one point we'll get into the Farset together.
Yes, absolutely.
I will climb into the Farset with you.
But always a pleasure, Dave.
Yes, pleasure, not yours. Thank you very much.
Cheers, man.
I'm the sly guy.